They played this just on a loop. Whoa, that's awesome.
Whoa, that's your graduation. Oh, you got to choose the photo.
Yeah, I got to choose my different. Thanks, maybe we'll get a drink sometime. That was my
Wow, nice.
Hey,
Just. Are we live?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's a bit laggy.
Why don't you Georgia in it?
Dan, we can't. We should just stay on this page just to check that we're all in.
Oh yeah, there we are.
Okay.
That's all we should be paying attention to. Dan, do you want to speak?
Hi.
Hey.
Is it working? Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a delay. When I say something, there's 1 second or something delay, I think.
It seems like there's a delay on the stream. Is there a delay between us right now?
No, I don't think that, but maybe the sound, there's a little bit of a delay on, but it's not problematic, I guess.
Turn down the audio on the stream.
As in, we turned down the speaker.
No, on the stream. You think the stream itself, turn that down, but it's fine here.
We should do that.
It's fine here.
Yeah, we don't have to do
Are
anything.
you checking it on the actual stream?
Live footage of us being managed by a music industry music manager.
If we just watch
Got a
the Zoom,
gun.
Fine on that.
And we're live now.
It works.
Oh, right.
So we can't see what people are saying. They're not on the screen.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah, they're saying it's now
Shall I wait a minute? Let's start. Or
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's your party now. You take over.
Dan, you ride it.
I wrote an intro and an outro, and yeah, maybe we can start at half because that was the time I think people dropping in.
Of course, sounds good.
Where did those crisps go?
Nice.
on the floor.
Great. And what is the time?
It's 29. That's in a few seconds.
Okay, 1 sec.
Could you grab me another one?
Yeah. Can I bring one of these big phones?
Dan, will they send us?
Yeah.
So I don't have to get up again.
Is seeing anything about that?
So, what about the next thing?
It's hell.
They're saying you got a lovely home.
Ready?
Oh, we're going. Yeah.
Oh,
Luke,
yeah? Okay.
I'm on my way.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome, people all over the internet, from Mexico to Turkey, from Athens to France. They may not be the world's second best slim tribute act anymore. And by the way, the times have changed. You can't declare your love in front of a Black Midi concert, but you can declare your love in front of a Georgie Creep concert. Oh my God, this record is amazing. But hey, times also remain. The sun still wears sunglasses. I'm sure a lot of you attending recognizes some BCNR references in there. Welcome to the wonderful world of Black Country New Road. We're here for a Q&A with the band ahead of their James Ford produced Forever How Long, their third studio record, which is finally out in 10 days on the 4th of April. The first section of the evening will be a bit of a narrative-based conversation, and the second section will contain funny and some deeply philosophical questions about, BCNR's besties who are sending these questions to the band. During the Q&A, there will be some limited quantity of CDs and tapes available for sale, which you can exclusively buy during this stream. They're rare like shiny Pokemon cards, so you're lucky if you get your hands on one of those. My name is Dan Kramer, your host tonight, a teacher of history and writer from the Netherlands, working for Or magazine, for which I met BCNR a few years ago during a special encounter. BCNR is like their story, I learned, hard to compare with anybody else in music's recent history. Georgia, Louis, Luke, Charlie, very nice to see you again.
Hello, Dan. How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm doing great. I hope you all doing great ahead of Forever How Long. And there's so much to ask, no time to waste. So shall we just start like right away?
Crack on.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
You refer to each other as friends, and Forever Howlong opens just with just like Bush Hall did, with a testament to friendship. How do you recognize true friendship?
Can you sit in silence with your mate?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's true. We do a lot of that. Oh.
Yeah, it's good. Still joking. um,
And how is it,
Yeah.
and how is it to combine your work as colleagues and working with friends together?
Sorry, I was doing the crisp. What did you say there, Dan? So the speaker's quite bassy and the crisps are quite trebly.
Okay. How will you combine?
working on a script.
How do you combine being a colleague and a friend at the same time in the band?
Boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah, strict boundaries.
as Simon says.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I think,
Me and Lewis live together. We don't speak at home.
yeah, we don't, you say
Leave your work at the door.
Yeah.
Leave the work at
Yeah.
the door.
I don't know. I think I don't think we have to worry about blurring the lines between being friends and colleagues, really, because the fact that we are friends makes our work a lot easier. And I think with a lot of bands, if you're touring and you're not actually mates and you don't, maybe there's a lot of unsaid things where you can't really be like, oh, I need my space, I need to do this right now. I feel like that can make work life a lot harder. So feels like the fact that we can talk to each other and be honest and open with each other allows our work life to be very smooth, or at least when it's hard, it's easy to sort out troubles. Serious answer.
Georgia and Charlie, how would you describe the home of Lewis and Luke?
It's really nice.
It's really, really
Yeah.
nice.
I was really upset when I saw it for the first time because I couldn't believe how good a deal they got on the house.
It's quite cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. No, it's a very lovely. It's a home. It's a nice
It's a
home.
really nice home. It's a proper home. That's like a way to describe it, I think, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got an upstairs, downstairs,
Middle.
kitchen, living room.
Dining room. Well,
It's got a fucking dining room.
It's got a very nice living room.
Yeah.
Do you also make music there?
occasionally, yeah. Sometimes really good music as well. Sometimes really bad music.
Sometimes some terrible music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We decide when it's good and when it's bad.
I would like to start a more narrative-based part of the conversation with a few memories of Rotterdam, which I think describe the uniqueness of the band. A little bit of context for the people who are listening. We met for the first time in a cold shed with a very high ceiling. There were huge statues, and the story goes that one of those was bought by Kanye West. And not long after the concerts, there was a fire which destroyed all parts of the area. How do you remember Rotterdam 23?
I had no idea about
I
that.
didn't know that. At
I
all.
only knew it from your question sheet earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Wow.
You know.
So did that mean all the art burnt down as well?
Not everything, but there were fires, and yeah, I can look it up and send a news article to you if you want.
Well, that is
That's
really
crazy.
sad. I loved Rotterdam. I thought it was really great. That it felt like, very rich, culturally very rich place, and it's the I'd not been to a place where like modern architecture was quite inspiring. Usually it's quite bland and feels quite corporate and boring, but it felt really interesting and that was quite a refreshing place to be, I think.
It was also just cool to play 3 shows in like 3 days, but all of them be completely different
Yeah, that
shows.
was really
like
cool.
Every single one being, because it was a very, very busy period of touring, which although can be extremely fun and going to lots of different new places is great, it can be a bit monotonous sometimes playing the same show, which is kind of the time we were, and so playing 3 totally different shows like two of which weren't even our own music.
Mm.
It was just great. It's cool.
I remember we got that
Oh,
boat.
so did we go on
We
a
get- we
speedboat?
went-
And
went on a
we got on a
speedboat.
speedboat.
We went on
Oh,
a
we stayed on
speedboat.
the boat.
We did stay
And
on a
we
boat. Yeah,
slept
we
on a
stayed
boat,
on a boat.
yeah.
Yeah. But do you remember the
slept on a
speedboat?
boat.
We went to that hotel New York, where all of the Dutch immigrants going to
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York
yeah.
in the like
We got on a
17,
speedboat to get
1800s.
there,
Used to get their hair cut before they went to New York.
Mm.
and now it's like a bar.
Oh,
It's
it
about-
was so good. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got on a speedboat, and the guy driving it was like drifting. Like,
Yeah, he was cool. He was
great
loving it.
fucking-
He was like, when he wasn't drifting, he was just like on Snapchat.
And he knew we were a bit scared as well, so he was really going in on the
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah, she loved it.
Yeah.
And the third night, the third night, the third night was also very special because you woke up early and you played two concerts with this artist, Ichiko Aoba, who recently also released a very beautiful record. And what I remember was that you woke up, rehearsed the set, and Ichiko told you that they wanted to sound like a whale coming out of the water, floating to the sky. And you all immediately knew what to play. What went through your head at that time, and when does an experiment like that succeed, do you think?
It's nice to talk about music in like terms of visual things or animals or like a tree like this or a whale. It was very specific, whale coming up for air. I think it makes things creative, and so we were like, oh, we know what that is.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's okay. That's probably what we all did.
Yeah.
And when does
I mean, yeah,
when does that experiment succeed, do you think?
I guess when you've contributed to the sound and the texture of the whole thing, and you've not got in the way of the singer, really, where you've made the kind of bed of what they're singing on top of, as warm and rich as you can possibly make it, and it's still it almost doesn't sound like it's there. I think that's what we were really that became quite apparent when we got some of the original materials, that okay, right, this is really, we've got to chill on this a lot and just make sure that we're providing tasteful support to the vocals thing. I feel like we kind of got that.
Yeah, we're the
I hope
band.
so.
Ichiko was happy about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, when I think back to that night, there was also a fan who took Tyler's Sudoku book from the stage, and there were all
Oh my
sorts
God.
of drawings and lyrics in it. What was that? And did the person who took it eventually gave it back?
They did send it back.
Yeah,
They sent it back. Yeah, that was.
it back.
She was so worried about that. That was actually a really scary situation.
Yeah,
I think someone saw it on stage and was a bit like, nab it like a set list, because people do that, and that's just like a pretty normal thing to do. And it just happened to, obviously it's a Sudoku book, so you don't assume that there's going to be loads of lyrics in it, but Tyler had just been, writing lyrics, thoughts, everything in that. So it was like a bit of a scary moment for her. But yeah, they gave it back. It was all chill.
Happy to hear that. In the following months after your release of your second record, And From Up There, you wrote a set of all new songs, which became known as Live at Bush Hole. Forever Along is announced as your third record. Why wasn't Live at Bush Hole, which was a collection of all new songs, not your third?
It just isn't really an album, to be honest. Like it was kind of always meant to be like a performance, and I think that's kind of how it was presented and how we wanted it to be presented. And there was a huge amount of compromise that went into that anyway, but it was kind of done as the set that we would play when we performed like stuff in lieu of playing the material that we'd written beforehand. And so like it wasn't kind of conceptually sort of conceived as an album. It was like, you know, it's a performance, it's a set of songs that we were like playing, and it works like well as a performance, but it wasn't written the same way that we kind of, you know, would do an album and like have done an album. And so it kind of, that was the best way to maybe present it as just like a live thing. It's like, you know, the video goes with it, and that's like kind of how it's meant to be like enjoyed, rather than as like an album that you can sit and listen to, rather than like watch and listen to, I guess.
Also, maybe on a more like practical level, it felt a bit fairer because we were playing a bunch of gigs, and like a lot of people might have assumed we were playing the old material from previous albums. It felt kind of fairer to give them at least the opportunity to hear what they might be coming to see, rather than just like coming with no idea but paying the ticket price that they would for the band in that size of venue anyway. Felt like a bit of a, I don't know, it didn't feel like appropriate to let people come with like no idea for like 2 years, not knowing what they're gonna hear unless they go in some YouTube like rabbit hole to find live versions. So it just felt like a nice thing to do. Like, look, you don't have to come, but here is what it's gonna be. If you like it, then we're gonna play something like that. So you know, just seemed like the right thing to do in a way. I don't know.
During the shows, the whole band sat around Charlie's drum kit when May began to sing Turbines. That was beautiful to witness. And what was going through your minds when May sang those songs for the first time?
When May sang songs for the first time.
Turbines specifically.
Turbines.
Sit around.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
We used to all cry like literally every gig for the first sort of 20.
Yeah.
And then Lewis realized that when May says, "I'm only a pig," it sounds a bit like she says, "I'm only epic."
Yeah.
And then we started laughing for like the next 20 shows after that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we just kind of, you know, appreciated the
Started
moment.
crying again because, you know, her saying "I'm only epic" is yeah. No, it was pretty amazing, to be honest. I mean, I think it was her first song that she brought to us, or maybe
We
the
did,
boy
I
was.
think we did the
Well, no,
boy.
she played them both to us back to back.
Yeah, and we were like, whoa,
Islington
where does that come
Assembly.
from?
But I think we did the boy first because it sounded like we would be able to do it more easily. Because we heard Turbines and we were like,
True,
that
which we
sounds
were
like
able to do more easily.
Turbines sounds like we're gonna fuck this up.
Yeah.
We were like a bit worried about arranging it.
The arrangement didn't
We didn't do that much, did we?
No, not
No.
at all.
It
Not at
really-
all.
Yeah.
But
that was a really good arrangement.
yeah, I agree completely. Yeah. But like we'd never really done an arrangement where someone played on their own for that long.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was like we weren't ready yet. We needed a couple more weeks.
The boy was like really difficult to arrange. It was a fucking nightmare.
Lewis had
a vision.
A vision, yeah.
Lewis had a real agenda with the boy.
I think that term's strictly reserved for more right-wing things, isn't it?
You had a vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a
About the
bit.
boy.
You did bang out that arrangement though. You did.
Yeah,
I
I
just
was
remember that.
yeah, yeah.
And it, you know, it stood the test of time.
It did. Is it not the song that we played the most?
Yeah, it
The
is.
boy is the one that
The
will
boy.
stay in the set forever.
It's guaranteed to stay in the set
number
as long.
2, he's always number 2.
Always number 2.
And he suits it well.
I take that as a little win, yeah.
Also, yeah, actually, it's
Okay.
every time it's the most performed BCNR song ever, easily.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, well, it's got to be the boy.
It's just a bit of a chiller, isn't it? It's a chiller.
Yeah, we didn't play any of the old songs from the first couple albums enough. We didn't tour enough to play them that much.
No.
The boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis, you
The
also played sang some songs on live at Bush Hole, and I've heard you were sick when you recorded the live version. Is that true?
I was really sick.
You were so sick
I was very ill.
and pissed off.
I was so pissed off that we were recording the obviously like the versions of the songs when I was extremely ill, and I was like, I was really loaded on Lemsips, and
Oh yeah, dude. Backstage before you did that, you had a Lemsip with a Barocca in it. I think.
yeah.
Turbocharged.
Yeah, it was it was not ideal, but I was fairly happy with the vocal performances, but not that happy.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, sounded fine, but yeah, ill as hell.
In the accompaniment documentary / concert registration on YouTube, you've been seen painting the stage decor together. And there was also sun with sunglasses in the video, which is also can be seen on the cover of Forever How Long. Is there a correlation between the two?
That is on purpose. Yeah.
Entirely intentional. Yeah.
What is?
The
The
sunglasses.
the sun on the background of the Bush Hall set that we made has sunglasses on, much like the cover of our new album.
Oh, yeah, sure. They say it is. It is.
It's all intentional.
That's like Pixar movie.
Yeah.
It's always the character for the next thing.
Yeah. Or The Simpsons, mate.
What is the correlation between the two?
6 of the same members of the band from Bush Hall are also on Forever How Long. If you look closely, it's
It's from Luna.
Between 5 and 7.
Oh,
oh
Should
shit.
be the
From Luna. No way.
Oh,
That is
well,
awesome.
She was the member.
That's great,
Doing that.
That's so sick.
flickers like a candle as well.
this is a full
I like
circle.
some props.
Yeah, exactly. Would you like these, Charlie?
Yeah, go on then.
I don't know if they're your prescription. But...
I'll see everything.
Yeah, they look
That's
good
just-
though.
They look cool.
Yeah,
Full
yeah.
full
Elton
circle.
John.
Actually, genuinely do.
They do look really good on you.
Yeah.
Like
You look like Joel
Fabio.
Guillaume.
You do look like Joel Guillaume.
Something
Look at
a
him.
tambourine.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, George.
No, it's okay. I think it's
Just wanted-
important to
Yeah. Just,
that jiggle.
Yeah.
How would you describe your new record for people that haven't heard it yet?
Avant folk pop. Yeah, avant folk pop. No. Yeah.
How would you describe it, Jordan?
Avant folk pop.
Avant folk pop. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like an avant folk pop flavour.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
We were in a ferry terminal passport area, and we were at the front of a very long line at like 4 a.m, and everyone in the queue was really looked really grumpy to be there, and I was right at the front of the queue, and the passport officer asked me what my reasons for coming back into the UK were. And I said, I play in a band, and they asked what music we made, and I said, avant folk pop. And everyone in the line that was behind all the band looked like, this guy's such a
Collectively,
twat.
I've never heard an entire room rolling.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sound. They harmonise.
So it's an avant folk pop record, yeah.
Lewis, you also once promised that there would be someday a MIDI pop BCNR Opus record. Is Forever How Long that record, do you think?
It's in the oven, that one. Yeah. Not quite there yet.
It's a slow
Yeah.
When and where was Forever How Long recorded?
It was recorded in Banbury, outside of Oxford, at Angelic Studios in September of last year. 3 weeks.
It was the same place that
Exactly.
N-Dubs did their debut album.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Did N-Dubs did they?
N-Dubs did their debut.
Well, that was
Jamiroquai did all the hits
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Jamiroquai.
It was a no-brainer for us, really.
We want to cancel N-Dubs Jamiroquai.
It was a lovely studio, though. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, James Watt produced it. It was at Angelic Studios, it's called, and it was honestly so amazing.
It was great.
Such a sick studio to be in. Like, amazing control room, really wide, very big. There was enough room for all of us. There was enough room for all of us to be in there. Wide,
The
deep,
size
wide
was
sort of thing.
Yeah, I've read
It was very deep. It was very deep. It was very deep, and the radius was sizable.
Significant.
So it was big enough for all of us to be in there and some. And then on either side of the control room, there was like a really big live room, and then another live room that was a bit smaller, but it sounded really nice as well. And they had like glass walls, so you could see into each one. It was just like the ultimate recording setup really,
Mm.
and it was really, and all of the, so Luke, who is the main studio engineer, was amazing. He was
Not
like,
me.
not this guy, Luke, from Angelic Studios was amazing, and he was like, you know, he had a like a little baby, and so he was like still committing so much time to our project, despite having this baby who was on site most of the time. But you know, so it was he was amazing, and then Brody and Cass, who are the two like assistant engineers on site, were also really good. So you know, it was like an amazing space with great, like amazing staff, and we got fed the whole time, lunch and dinner every day. It's pretty amazing. It was like quite an amazing experience, to be honest.
What did you learn from James Ford? Because he is known for a long time producer from bands like Arctic Monkeys and recently Fontaines DC, bands who reinvent themselves constantly, like you. How was it to work with him, and what was his initial reaction hearing songs like Nancy Tries to Take the Night and Two Horses, that are songs that have been played for a long time on the road? Yeah, what was his reaction, and what did you learn from working with him?
His first reaction. He was maybe a bit cagey at first. He didn't say anything for a couple of days, then he was like, "Yeah, this song is great, guys."
Yeah.
After it was basically done. You know?
Yeah, that was a really nice thing about him. He wasn't like, he was real, and he wasn't gonna like, he wasn't blowing smoke up anyone's ass, was he? And when he said, "Oh, I like this one," you know, he really meant it, I think, which was like nice to hear. I think he liked both of them, those two songs that you mentioned. It was quite like, he didn't like spend too long thinking about things. It was very like on the fly, you know, like he was very good at working very quickly, getting something set up and keeping the flow going. We would record like basically like track a song a day, apart from like when there was like a really big one like Whole Country, and like there were dubs to do over the top, but we were moving quite quickly through them, and that was just great because it was very fun, and you didn't think about too much. It's just like, that feels good, that sounds good, let's go with it. Get a comp down. He can comp really, really quickly. The vocals sound amazing, you know. You don't have to worry about all the different takes you've done. He'll put it together and make it sound like one.
It also felt quite validating that he seemed so chill about it all, because it was like, this is such a successful producer who feels very relaxed about this exact project that we're doing. So it doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter that we get this particular take done. You know, things that you can quite easily get bogged down in if you're the one who has to do it, or if you're the one who's written it. You know, he's not worried about having to get that down, which then means it's probably going to be okay, because he trusts everyone's vision. He trusts his own vision. He trusts, you know, where this is going. So I think it was you know, he gave us, well, he definitely gave me a lot of confidence in what we were doing, and you know, his work ethic was really inspiring as well. Like, he worked so hard on it. It was even if he didn't have the credentials he had in the first place, like he really earned it. You know, he really worked very hard for us.
Did earn his paycheck.
But do you know
Earned
what?
his paycheck, yeah.
No,
No,
he
he
was
wasn't.
fucking rubbish at ping pong. He had no flair or ability.
Such a drag playing.
He smoked you. What are you talking about? Absolutely smoked. No, he actually did lose to me at the end of the day. I actually sent him a ping pong video. I sent him a ping pong video yesterday, and he said, yeah, it's a shame we didn't have that much room to play, which implied that he was, if he had the space, because there wasn't that much room to go back in while you know.
It's true, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We developed a new kind of ping pong where you're sat down while you play.
Yeah, it was good.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
So you can't move very
Lot of,
much. It's more about reach.
On the new record, there are a lot of tongue-in-cheek moments. Which one made you laugh personally? That starts with Georgia.
Okay. Anyone's got one, jump in. We'll think.
Oh, there's in the big spin. There's a really stupid little 2-note run that I do, and it matches May's vocals. It sounds so dumb on the sax, and I thought maybe let's accentuate this because it's really funny. And I asked Charlie to play it as hits. I guess when you hear the record, you can find out where that is, but it's in the verses. Yeah.
Oh, for me, the moment that always makes me smile is the end of Happy Birthday and Luke's solo.
It's not a solo.
Which I'm
It's a trio moment.
Yeah, Georgia tried to cut it at one point.
Yeah.
For one day, and then it got put back in.
I'm so into that.
Because we're all kind of like swagging out at the same time. Yeah.
Basically, I was a bit because it covered up my mandolin a bit.
But we're collaborating there. It's good.
It's a Queen moment, I think.
Yeah, it was supposed to be funny. But I did do it in another room while everyone else was working. So yeah, I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. Actually, you were there.
Yeah,
That's why we chose the one where I'm harmonising with Lewis.
Yeah.
He was.
He was like, "Do you think I can get away with this one?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the best one."
Luke, do you also have a tongue-in-cheek moment on the record?
A tongue-in-cheek one. It's a good question. One that I like that I find funny that maybe no one else does, or maybe funny is not the right word, is the big spin also, but just the first line of that I think is a really funny choice of a first line. We chopped off your arms. Not the melody, but May just going, we chopped off your arms. Great little first line. And if you like, if you lose it after that, then you have no idea what she's talking about. And it's
true.
like, I think that's kind of a nice little macabre bit of lyricism. I like that.
I think there's one which didn't end up going on the record, which is when we recorded. I'm not even sure what the thing is. The boing.
Oh yeah, the doing. Yeah.
The doing.
What's that called again?
The vibroslap.
Vibroslap.
We ordered a vibroslap specifically for one very specific moment in
Salem Sisters.
Salem Sisters. Actually, we're gonna put it on Salem Sisters and the Cold Country, and
we tried it everywhere.
Why that's such a stupid idea?
I spent about 45 minutes with James trying to figure out where to put the vibroslap on the record.
James, mate.
But James looked really into it.
James loved
it. For it.
Well, there was that Rolling Stone story that was going around about the guy that wanted to play the vibroslap. Or it was one of James's stories. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
There's a guy that wanted to that turned up to do a keyboard session, but was so high that he had to just end up playing a vibroslap. So, yeah.
I thought of another thing when we were doing on the title track "Forever Howlong," when there was the blues moment. Lewis plays the blues on the recorders, and it was quite controversial. Charlie didn't want it to be played. Charlie didn't want it to be played on anything.
You tried the blues on every single
instrument. But there was a bit which I really enjoyed, where I was trying to get May to do it on the accordion. And I was kind of like giving her these very vague instructions, kind of Ichiko Aoba style instructions, like a whale surfacing, like someone sighing, like all this kind of stuff. And James like quite brutally cut me off at one point. He was like, "Luke, fucking stop it." And May in the other room pressing the talk back, like, can you make it sound like you've had a hard day at work or whatever. May was enjoying it. I think.
We didn't.
It was a hard wasted
we didn't talk yet about Besties, which is a lovely title for a song, just like Happy Birthday is a lovely title for a song. In the comments by fans, it was surprisingly many people's birthday on the day you were releasing Happy Birthday. Um,
That was so
Very nice.
is Besties more of a happy or a sad song, do you think?
they're both.
Switter beat for me.
It's a switter beat.
Yeah,
It's with the beat.
yeah.
It's with the beat.
Mm.
I agree.
And Besties is the first song Georgia ever sings for Black Country New Road. Yay. We also know you for this band, Jockstrap, another British beloved band. My dad saw you perform live last year and he really loved it. And me too as well. Yeah, how is it to join this talented crew of lead singers in Black Country New Road, Georgia?
It was great. It was really, really nice. Bit nervous at first, but I think I got on with it and it all worked out okay.
You smashed out of the park.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Now
good.
do
It was
the-
nice to
Homer.
How do
write for
the-
the instruments.
Okay, yeah, and how does
Nice.
it?
Yeah, nice.
Oh, sorry.
You go,
There's
you go.
a bit of a delay on the sound, so sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
How do those projects relate to each other, Jockstrap and Black Country New Roads, in your opinion?
How do they relate to each other? They're quite different, really. I mean, the process is similar, like write a song at home, bring it in, but obviously no computers in Black Country Road and writing for a certain set of instruments. So that parameter, whereas Jockstrap is kind of like, let's make it sound like anything, you know. It's more like you're working to the instruments, and that's nice. A bit difficult maybe at first, but yeah, really fun.
Mm.
And it's not to a click until you get it to a click, but yeah.
Lewis, do you want to react on that?
So I just thought it was funny. Yeah. To be honest, Georgia, you know, George was the first person to Brian Wilson it with BCNR. No one's ever come into a rehearsal room with a song and have basically everything sorted. And with the song Two Horses, Georgia brought in the song and basically all the parts, apart from just one or two. And we were like, yeah, this works, cool. And then we kind of added our own flavor to it or whatever, and we made it a bit more BCNR-y, and then we you know, maximalized it. And then we toured that for 2.5 years. And when we were doing pre-production, we were like, oh, actually, maybe George's version just sounded the best in the first place. So we you know, so we stripped it back and we kind of did it as Georgia originally envisaged it. And yeah, it's just quite interesting. That's the first time that's ever happened. So I guess that's definitely you know, that's the jockstrap thing is definitely got something to we've got something to thank for the jockstrap writing process for that, because it's more your vision than we've ever had with a songwriter bringing a song into the rehearsal room. I think no, it's just interesting that that's how that song was written,
Totally, yeah.
because you know, it works, and it works the best for that song as you brought it in.
Totally.
As a band, you embrace a lot of experiments with a lot of courage, and sometimes even more courage than other bands would dare, I think. Are there also things in the music business or making a record that can make you uncertain?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loads. I think that there's loads of us in the band, so that's really helpful. You know, we're like you know, doing something new when you're in a group of 6 people is much easier than doing something new when you're in a group of 3 people or 2 people or just yourself, you know. So because you've got a lot of we support each other a lot, and we've got a lot of, you know, time to we tell each other it's it's going to be okay, this kind of thing.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely still scary a lot of the time because we've had to do whole tours where no one's going to know any of the songs that we're playing live, but at the same time we've got a lot of love and friendship to fall back on because there's so many of us. But yeah, for sure it's scary, and yeah, I don't know what to say more than that.
Also, I would maybe say that there's a lot of bands and artists who do stuff that's a lot more experimental than what we do. But we've just we've changed in a fairly big way, but not in a super experimental, like crazy challenging way, kind of fairly constantly. The difference is that a lot of the people who do really experimental shit don't have a consistent audience for it because it's kind of more of a niche thing. But for some reason, we've got like a group of people who like our music who've stuck with us and have come to shows even when we make those changes that are minor compared to some, but quite major for like a traditional band. And I think that's what's unusual about our setup is that when we do something a bit new, it's to quite a lot of people already, rather than like
You're right, yeah.
it being crazy out there. It's a bit out there, but it's to quite a lot of people straight away. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I think we have a fan base that is,
Which is amazing. Like I can't believe people are like,
yeah,
we'll check out what they do now. You know, why not?
we have a fan base that's very open. I think we're really lucky to have that.
Cool.
A fan base that doesn't necessarily that they don't bleed a certain genre of music, but they instead they die for the badge of they die for the badge of a band that likes to change all the time. No, it's serious though.
No,
it's
sorry,
not.
I was just thinking,
I was just
which
doing
genre
football
would be funniest to
bullshit.
bleed.
Yeah. I don't know. Bleeding electro swing is pretty peak, isn't it? Yeah. I think. Yeah. I think.
Peak means something different in the US, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty bad. Yeah. I think we.
I hope.
Yeah. We're just lucky that we've got
That's good.
we've got a fan base that really enjoys like a band experimenting with new sounds and doing different stuff to what is conventional, I guess.
What does the word resilience mean to you in your musical career?
Up, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's just what we're used to having to do. It's not been the easiest trajectory, but we've had to be resilient somewhat.
I watched Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Those videos before everyone goes to
Drinking his
rehearsal.
own piss.
Yeah, I watched Bear Grylls drinking it before I go to rehearsal.
Yeah. I drink my own piss, to be honest, before I go to rehearsals, just for resilience. Yeah.
We got some fan questions left. Fans from all over the world could send you questions, and they did. On Friday at noon, there were already hundreds of questions. Some, funny, others more philosophical. Some people stated that they're starting playing drums after seeing you perform live, Charlie. Not one, but a
Cool.
couple of them.
Wow, that's cool. Well, I hope it's going well.
Yeah. Someone
yeah.
from Serbia can't wait to hear new May songs, and there were also some very encouraging compliments on the singing of Luke, begging to hear a Luke song one day.
When?
Begging.
Begging
We'll
you.
see. We'll see. If I come up with one that's good
Jigsaw
enough,
when?
we'll see.
I've seen him do a lot of Neil Diamond at karaoke bars, and he's bloody good. To be honest. Yeah.
I love Neil Diamond. Yeah.
We were in a karaoke bar, and it's like loud in these karaoke bars. Everyone's chatting and conversing, not necessarily focusing on the singer. And Luke cues up. I am. I said. Is it I am? I said. Or I am. Said I. I am. I said.
I am. I said. Yeah.
And he gets on stage, and then suddenly it's like everyone's like, wait, sorry, wait. And everyone's like,
Oh, swooning over Lucy.
yeah, and
The
you know,
bartender
you just
starts clapping.
I yeah, it's pretty amazing, yeah. So yeah, new Luke song pipeline in next couple weeks,
You'll get on that when you
next couple albums.
Some
Yeah.
point we'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe album 7.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
I hope I
Album 7,
pronounced,
you heard it here.
7.
On
If it lasts that long, I'll do the whole fucking album.
yeah. on the tattoo you of the BCNR, the BCNR history. Yeah, absolute album. That. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I pronounced everybody's name correctly. Sorry if I don't. And those are in chronological order, so the transitions can maybe be quite a bit bold. Bradley asked, who will be the next member of the band to grow a beard?
I think May is probably.
Yeah.
It's going to be May.
Yeah.
I think she'd have a really good beard.
Yeah, strong.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Joshua wanted to know what you wanted to do as kids.
I wanted to be a hairdresser.
Professional footballer.
I wanted to work with animals in some capacity, and I didn't really understand how you did that, so I didn't pursue that career. I found myself at the age of 20, like looking for a band to join.
I wanted to be a history teacher.
Fuck off. Did you want to be?
I did. I really wanted to be a history teacher. I was really desperate to be.
What was the name? What was the name of the history teacher that you inspired you? Because there must have been one, right?
Mrs. Abrams.
Mrs. Abrahams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Fucking dream.
It's just that
You had Soweto Kin, she had Mrs. Abraham.
Yeah, that
or
is so
whatever.
funny.
Be a great history teacher.
Why?
In fact, I consider you my history teacher.
He is our history teacher, but I just find it funny that as a kid you decide that you want to be a history teacher.
Well, also, I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I was younger. I sort of thought like that looks alright.
Yeah, you don't see that.
Sorry,
career,
sorry,
you know,
that's
you're in
actually quite
school,
funny.
like,
Sorry,
most of the
sorry.
time.
Sorry, yeah.
Because I was really bad at
History,
football as well.
history.
It's like, I clearly can't be a footballer because I'm rubbish at it.
I just want to be Lee
June
Trundle.
Mating asked, are there any other artists you dream of collaborating with one day?
Dave, the rapper.
David BCNR,
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Dave or Sench.
Dave will send, yeah.
You know what I was thinking? This isn't really a dream. It's more of a it's more of a practical thing. It's more of a business move. That guy Joe, is it Joe Keery?
To Joe.
The Joe. He's got an album coming out the same day as us, but he once expressed interest in our band and wanted to make a video with us. Long before he was a successful
Yeah,
musician.
to Joe.
I was thinking, right, the other day, why don't we get him to do a little duet? Because he's a big deal now. You know?
Spinatry.
We
Excellent.
could do like you could be singing, George. You
Would
could be
you
singing.
recommend
When I get to
Hello?
Chicago, and then we'll be like huge, and everyone will listen to Forever How Long.
That song is really good, to be fair.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
Honey Honey.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
To Joe. We'll have to go.
Honey Honey saw a theory online that the new album was set to be produced by Steve Albini. Was it?
No.
No.
No,
Never.
that would have been really cool, but unfortunately not.
No, I love his production. Yeah.
Disco.
Sad.
Disco.
It's kind of a dream to make an album with it.
We just love hi-hat miking too much.
Yeah, he famously said that like if there was an anti-mic he could put on the hi-hat, he would. He'd just like take away as much.
Which I really rate as well.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame.
I wouldn't do it.
No, I do. I mean, I love the way the drums sound. I did a session the other day with Sam and Nina, and he was like, and there was no hi-hat mic, and I was like,
Really?
Have you seen the video? Have you seen the video?
That's cool, yeah.
So funny.
He probably looked it up, like
Yeah.
what's Charlie's
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Yeah.
Disco Barak asked, what is your favorite piece of merch of your own? And somebody else was wondering if you ever walk around in BCNR shirts.
He does all the time.
I do, yeah.
It's
Yeah, my wardrobe is just all band t-shirts. I don't really have any shame in wearing my own merch either. But because it's like well made. Some of it.
Most of ours, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Banty.
I liked the that monster truck, the flaming monster truck tea we did in America. That was cool. But we actually, you know, we forgot to say US and Canada tour on it. Or no, maybe it had a US flag on it, but we played in Canada as
Canadian
well.
flag,
Yeah.
We
We did it. We did
that was
it.
bad, but,
When we were in New York on the day after that tour, we were on the tube. Me, Luke, and May, and Tyler were on the tube. The Met
Suburbs,
yeah,
yeah.
subway,
Suburbs, yeah.
Subway.
the suburbs, yeah. And they were all sitting down. This guy got on the tube wearing that shirt,
No.
and
Yeah.
like literally like standing right
That's
next
so
to us
cool.
wearing the
Oh,
shirt.
keys.
And we all got a bit embarrassed.
All got quite
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Didn't say anything.
Nah,
Did they say
No, what are you
anything?
supposed to say? Like, God, we like great bro.
loser.
They didn't recognise you.
Yeah, that was random.
And
to
they
be
must have
fair.
been still at the back. I don't know.
We were wearing raincoats. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
I like the Bush Hall t-shirts that we did actually, the ones that had the programs.
You know, I
To
really
be
like.
honest, the new ones are the best ever, easily.
I really like the
I like the
bass. I really
style.
like the baseballs from album one. So if anyone wanted to like buy
Why
them,
don't we still-
I know they're about 4 or 5 years old, but I'm sure there's still some on the website. I personally really like them. I thought they were excellent pieces of merch, and you know everyone would be lucky to own one of them. So just putting that out there.
Oh, the Badger badge.
The Badger badge.
Great.
That was Dan's idea.
Alan
Dan,
boy. That was his idea. Patented.
He's the only other guy here, but
Yeah.
you're thinking there's like prep 10 more.
Yeah.
Know.
Yeah.
It's just a big TV.
Here's another question. Sophie asked, and she gave the description to kindly not turn this into a joke, as she meant it seriously. What do you all think is the meaning of life?
Oh.
I saw Tom York do a really, really bad joke about this on Instagram the other day. It was like, actually I won't even repeat it because
So not that.
yeah, not that. It was something about like typo and like from little. But
I don't think I know.
I don't know. Yeah,
think-
just giving it a go. I reckon.
yeah, having a really good go.
Just try a bit more than you would otherwise. Is
No,
all I would
yeah.
say. Maybe
You've only got one. YOLO.
YOLO.
You know.
try and make someone else's life better. How about that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
My mum's just said
directly, ideally. Like we're trying to make you listen to nice music, but you know, maybe you don't like it. That's fine. But you know, if you make someone a cup of tea, that's going a long way. You know.
my mum's just said to find a life of meaning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Teresa's got it.
Yeah,
That's
In the
good. I
bag.
like that.
Cute. In
so
the
that works.
bag.
Yeah,
She
To the next.
She should be in the band. I keep
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
she shoots, she soars.
Yeah.
Turning your life of others into something better or beautiful is, I think, a beautiful answer. Chris wanted to know whether there are other forms of media besides music that influence the new album. And Chris was especially interested in literature. And yeah, there was some references to literature, for example, in Besties, lyrics of Besties with reading good books. So yeah, what do you think about the influences?
We all like to read books. We've got some really avid book readers in the band. That's Charlie and May
And Luke.
and Luke.
Mostly those
These
two.
guys are like bookworms though. And Lewis.
And Lewis, yeah.
as
Read
well.
my first book in 2024, sorry.
He's unstoppable now.
I'm literally unstoppable force
You
of
won't be
nature.
able to catch him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the books that we read also inspire us to write lyrics and find different writing styles.
You guys share
Charlie's-
books with each other all the
Yeah,
time as well.
Charlie's recommended me all of my favourite books that have gone into all my lyric writing. So not only my history teacher, but my English lecturer.
I read musicians' autobiographies, and I learn how to not party.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. It's usually musicians' autobiographies from the 90s that are like, and then this is the point where I just took it too far.
That's so not in your nature though, to take it too far like that.
No.
You know.
No, I know.
You're gonna be fine.
you know, it's where I
Well,
find.
now because
It's where I find my. It's where I find my. You know, my
That's
cut-off
true.
point.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
It's not the reason why I'm reading it. I'm just interested in people like Mickey Berenier and
No, yeah,
Graham Coxon.
they're the most interesting.
They are, yeah.
Charlie, which books,
They are really good.
which book titles made
There is-
a huge impression on you recently? Do you have some recommendations?
What were you gonna say, Luke?
I was just gonna say that the only book maybe we've talked about as like intentionally trying to take inspiration from is when, in fairly quick succession, you and May and me and Tyler all read 100 Years of Solitude. And Tyler was like,
yeah.
we were trying to come up with a way to make an album that had different singers and all of the stories were tied together or something like that. And we were like, maybe we could do like a concept album, like 70s style. We had this kind of very vague plan of like setting it around a location like a town, kind of like 100 Years of Solitude, which has all these amazing like vignette-esque stories of this family, and they all kind of like lean towards the same thing, and you kind of know what's going to happen, but it's like amazing along the way. That's the only time we've ever been like, this book could be a little bit of a intentional touchstone, and it's an amazing book. I think it's Tyler's favorite book, so
It is a fucking good book.
it is fucking good. Yeah,
Fucking good. Yeah. There are some books though that like we do speak about like kind of between. I mean, I remember like reading what's it, Silver Wall and Bad Decline.
oh
In the studio.
yeah.
And just like speaking. Yeah, and speaking.
He's
to-
like my favorite writer,
Yeah,
and
me
Meg and Charlie also love him.
I was reading that as we were like setting up on the second day, and like reading the second like story from it, and then going to like speak to Luke about it as soon as I finished setting up and finished writing it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's fucking sad, isn't it?" Did you cry? I was like, "Yeah."
Yes, lads.
It's really good. It's really
It's
good.
just like one of the most amazing books I've like ever read ever.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
gave May a
people
copy of
that
Sam
George
Bond.
Sanders. So, for example, Alex Turner from Arctic Monkeys also loves George Sanders, and
So does Dua Lipa.
Whoa, no way. That's
Dua
cool.
Lipa,
He's
yeah.
very popular in the USA, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So is Dua Lipa as well. Yeah,
Dua
so is she.
Lipa, yeah.
I got
Well,
a
he's
couple
black.
of questions left. Matthew Bloomberg was wondering what are your favorite modern pop girlies or pop icons at this right moment?
Chapel Rowan is
Chapel.
probably the best one, isn't she?
Chapel took the time to say hello to me at Coachella, which was quite nice. And so
Really?
she
Oh,
was
that's
like,
nice.
but she introduced herself
Whoa.
as Chapel Roan rather than her like actual name, which I thought was a bit bizarre.
Whoa, I don't.
It's when you guys all
What's
went
her name?
into like you came to the site late on the second weekend,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
and I was like there just sort of hanging out because I thought that my cousin was going to be there.
Yeah, I
She didn't show up
remember.
until
Yeah,
I say
yeah,
it. Chapel came over and she was like, "Wait," she's like, "Hey, I'm Chapel Roan."
yeah. That's so
I
funny.
was like, okay.
Wow.
But she wasn't, it was very peculiar, but yeah.
I made eye contact with Sabrina Carpenter that week.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Stop.
But
Yeah,
she
he
didn't.
did.
She didn't react at all. She was having her photo. She was walking to the stage like this, and she's very small, but surrounded by all these photographers. And I was walking by. I didn't really know who she was. It was just before she was like the most.
It was
famous.
before her and
Chapel.
Chapel
I knew who she
Roma
was because
famous.
her
They're just
bit,
about to pop off.
her like backstage bit was like next to our little tent thing, and so I knew who she was from that. But then I saw her walking along, and I was like, well, that must be her, because she was having her photo taken by like 100 guys or whatever, and she was keeping her head very still like this, because she was having her photo taken, and I happened to be in the eye line, and I was sort of like, didn't react, no reaction, because obviously I just looked like some fool, you know. But
Yeah.
Who's your favourite pop girlie?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Chapel, I reckon.
Have you heard a new song?
The Giver.
Yeah.
Yeah, the country one, yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much as the album, I don't think. But I think Charlie deserves a shout out.
yeah,
She smashed it.
She's done right. She's done right for herself.
Mine, Vashti Bunyan. Sorry.
Geordie royalty.
So
No, my favourite girlies are May and Tyler.
May and Tyler, yeah, exactly.
That was the
They're my
part we
favourites.
waited for.
I went to see the Brat show. The Brat.
Brats.
Yeah, with the Brat show in the O2.
Oh,
This-
sorry.
You did as well. You were
I
there.
did. I went to see Twigs the weekend.
Oh yeah, how was
It
it?
was amazing. The show
I
was
saw some
amazing.
clips of that. Yeah,
It was
cool.
amazing. Yeah.
She had some kind of cube.
Yeah,
on
that was
stage.
just one bit of it, and it was
Oh.
like the cube had like it was like
It made you
stretchy
solve
and you
puzzles
could,
and
like-
stuff.
It's like, it's so Bradley watching from the side, like, gotta be in it.
Like yeah, it was amazing. That was
Fortunately,
yeah,
Charlie skipped to the Netherlands.
she did all discography.
Wow, really?
Mm. It was really long.
That's cool. I
And,
like that.
made-
Like a
she
Bob
made
Dylan
it
show.
up.
I back that.
Mm.
I back that.
It was like
Sounds
it was exactly like a Bob Dylan show.
Yeah, unfortunately, Charlie skips the Netherlands, so she's going to be engaged in the summer. Was the story? So she
It
didn't.
kind of seems like it would be her sort of vibe.
Really? She's not into Lowlands.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, she doesn't like.
She's filming her Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Is she? She's doing a doco.
Mocko Doco.
Doco. Oh, seriously? Interesting.
Wow.
Tiago asked about your advice.
Sorry, Dan.
No problem. Tiago asked what's your advice for other musicians when they wanted to start at a band or playing live?
Play as much as possible.
Yeah, I think do like every gig that you get asked to do, even if it seems like a really shit gig, always do it because you just never know. Like you never know who's going to be there. Sorry, this is early days now. Sorry, we got our manager's going crazy over there because we turned down so much shit now. But you know, we have the privilege of being able to do so. But when you're starting off, you know, you've got to play as many gigs as possible, and you never know who's going to be at the gigs, even if it seems like it's going to be a shit gig. And even if it is a shit gig, it's still a really good learning experience to play a gig because it's a cliche, but like playing one gig is like doing 5 rehearsals essentially. So you end up getting way better the more gigs you do, and you get more. The more you get under your belt, the better you get at playing.
It's also like extremely like. It's also extreme. Oh, I just think you're doing a really good job. Yeah.
Hi, Tyler. How you doing, Tyler?
Yeah.
It's also just really like can sometimes be very, very like fun and nice to play a show that like more that where you watch people like leaving whilst you're playing.
We've done a lot of them as well.
We've done so many of them where like it's been to like a kind of a packed room and then it just like thins out to basically no one by the end.
Talk about that cricket
I mean,
club
that's
in
what
Bedfordshire.
exactly, yeah.
That's what it's all about, really.
We once played a gig in a cricket club pavilion in Bedfordshire, Clifton Cricket Club, and the only people attending was my dad and Isaac's girlfriend at the time, and there was a guy called Big John who was meant to DJ after us, and we were playing a crazy set. There were loads of these lads outside, like pointing at us and laughing at us, like through the window. Like, oh, these fucking guys! Like, yeah. And we were just playing out like kind of crazy.
We played for an
stupid-
hour and a
we played
half.
for an hour and a half, about 45 minutes longer than we were meant to play. Playing this stupid, crazy post-punk music, and this DJ, Big John, kept getting on stage, and he kept getting on stage and like altering his playlist on his laptop. Was on the side of the stage. And my dad, when he came back off the stage, had a big go at him. He's like, you know, you can't get on stage, and when someone else is on stage, they're stage. And I saw my dad having a go at him. I was like, I was really sweaty, and I put his really expensive headphones on my sweaty head. I was like, this. And he looked at me. He's like, no. Yeah, fucking Big John, man. But yeah, these kind of gigs, you know, you get like extremely funny memories from them. But
it's also where you just sort of like learn to like be like, well,
you learn that it's not that important.
It's not
really.
important, yeah. And if you think that what you're doing on stage is kind of fun and funny anyway, then like it doesn't really matter what else is happening.
And you know, you do need these like quite tin pot experiences to learn what the kind of artistic output that you're going to do is going to be, because you need to see the lack of seriousness of it all to then feel relaxed about playing a gig in the first place, and then you try and experiment with new things, and then you don't put as much pressure on it, and then it allows you to then broaden your horizons a little bit, and it means you end up making more true music to what you actually wanted to do in the first place, I think. So
What's the
yeah.
best advice?
Play with Big John at Clifton. If you get off at the Clifton Cricket Club Pavilion and Big John is coming on after you, just say yes. Whatever you do, say yes.
What's the best advice another musician gave you?
Good question.
Did your history teacher tell you to?
Miss Abrams. Well, she was really good at history, but she also was a bit like women shouldn't be in the army. So all of her voice outside of was a bit.
She was a bit of a.
She was an amazing teacher.
That's funny.
But I don't know.
Some people get confused.
Yeah, true. Damo Suzuki was once like, even if it's a red light, you can still probably try. Which I thought was quite funny.
So yeah, that's bad advice. That's bad advice.
Damo Suzuki, when we once played with him, was once like, if it's a red light, you can probably still drive through it, even if. Yeah.
He got me to he also took me onto a corner, and he like produced like a little baggie, and was like, this opium.
Oh, amazing that you played with Damo Suzuki. I've once interviewed him in
It was
2000.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Full of good advice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was genuinely an amazing experience.
It
Yeah.
was so cool. Yeah.
Hey, are there any, Adama asked, are there any celebrities fan of BCNR that really surprise you, besides Chappell Roan, of course?
Wow. Yeah, Simon
Simon
Pegg,
Pegg,
Simon,
yeah.
Simon Pegg, yeah.
Simon Pegg, that, yeah.
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, that was a bit mental.
Simon Starlet.
Yeah.
I don't know, really.
There are some
Good job
wild
as well.
ones. Sometimes we get followed and someone puts it in the chat like, wow,
Yeah.
check that out.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Toxic.
The biggest guy in Bollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
most
yeah,
famous
shit.
Bollywood actor follows us.
Followed us, then messaged us, and then it just got lost in the chat.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I even
Asked
knew
for a
about
collab. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty famous.
You met some friends of ours at
Should I have a look on the Instagram?
Mm,
at
Oh, I don't know.
Wide Awake Festival.
mm,
By all accounts, a very nice fellow.
mm.
I
Liam,
once went to a
sorry,
oh no, forget about it.
Liam Gallagher.
Liam Kennedy asked, what is the one
Okay.
song or album you like to listen to the very last time before you pass away?
Oh,
Ooh. Goodbye.
that's an amazing question. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh,
What song on the
appropriate, isn't it?
album?
what song on the record, or what record ever?
Yeah, what you want, but I think it's meant to another artist or your favorite music ever.
Okay. I misunderstood.
Oh,
That's
shit.
tough.
I would listen. Oh, hang on, what's it called?
Oh, maybe Big White Cloud by John Cale. That's nice.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
like,
is
it
great.
feels a bit like you're dying.
Wow,
It's a very
that's
beautiful
cool.
song. Yeah, I like that one.
I would listen to Laughing Stock by Talk Talk.
Yeah.
I
of
said
course.
when that question comes to producers, and I still
Mm.
stand to this day that would be a great one.
Yeah. Love
Such a
that.
beautiful.
I always
Yeah,
thought I
quite
wanted to
sure.
die. I always thought I wanted to die while Fix You was playing.
If you go down dramatically, then
Yeah, if you're going out in a, I remember once being in a car and someone was driving really fast down some country roads and Fix You was playing.
That
And I
was
was-
my brother.
It was your brother? and Pixie was
Oh,
playing,
drive so
and he
fast.
was driving so
That's
fast, and I was like, I might die now. This might be it.
But that would be cool.
And Fixie was playing. I was like, well, you know, yeah, but maybe I don't know. Maybe like probably some John Cale as well. Paris 1990.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got a lovely voice.
Yeah.
I do.
A Child's Christmas in Wales, maybe.
In thought. Charlie, your deep lost in thought, I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do not one artist, but I do Rock and Roll Suicide. Then I do Trains Across the Sea by Silver Jews, and then I do The Big Ship by Brian Eno.
Oh, fair play.
Then Dead.
Yeah.
Then I'm
Oh,
dead.
do you know what?
I'd take any of them as
Yeah.
well.
I actually always listen to Prefab Sprout when I'm scared on a plane. And I know these guys hate Prefab
That sounds
Sprout.
so private.
But I like
Such a waste.
I listen to that's right. Diva Queen.
There's this, there's this. Did this really happen?
I'm really sorry. I'm making some quite crazy noises before, wasn't it? Oh dear.
Please show Luke. Please show Luke.
I just wanted to show you Dan because he was like crying in the corner, and I was trying to get Charlie on the floor.
Oh dear.
For
Yeah, so
everybody-
Prefab Sprout.
There's a light behind. Maybe we can see on them.
Oh, you can see us watching it now.
Yeah, we're watching it happen now. Oh, that's
Next question, Charlie. What happens?
Trying to get his albums on quick.
Oh, it's really broken.
That's really
Yeah.
that's the back of a chair. That
This isn't like something came loose. It's like snapped plastic.
It was,
like,
yeah,
all
it
the way
was.
around.
It was already like a little bit cracked, so don't worry.
Well, fair enough.
Charlie, you
Set him
didn't
up,
hurt
George.
yourself, right?
No, I'm all good. I'm okay. Thank you, though.
Last few questions. Are you ready for those?
Sorry, yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. John Clark asks, what is after the tour and the next record? And are there any plans for a Hollywood production like Kneecap did?
A Hollywood production. Oh, I don't think we'd last making a whole film out of just
No.
us. I think I don't know.
This is it. This is
Yeah.
all you're gonna get.
Yeah. I don't know. I think making a film would be beyond us. George is done.
Yeah,
He's
he's
done.
gonna laugh.
Sorry, the chair just. I think if this is destroying us like a broken chair, we're never gonna make a film as good as the Kneecap film.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, it's true.
I think yeah, I mean I'm sure we would love to do. I know we say this after every record we've produced. We always say we'd love to do a soundtrack because this like a call out to ask film music commissioners to ask us to do music.
That's a lovely image that Luke is sitting on the back of the broken chair.
It's like the top half of a duck's beak, isn't it?
My new desk.
Yeah, but I mean, we're gonna just tour this album until we're done with it, take a break, and then start writing again. I guess just see what happens. I think it's been such a tumultuous few years that who knows what's gonna happen, and there's no point in us thinking about the future too much. We know we're gonna make more music with each other. That's all we know.
Yeah, definitely.
No, who knows what form that's going to take? Whether that's maybe making a six form or something, Georgia. Certainly not to laugh, so let's hope you can bring them.
A lot of fans assume you are very good cooks, and there were a lot of questions, surprisingly many, about cooking. Rene Gonzalez was wondering what BCNR thinks of what is the greatest breakfast food of all time and why. And I want to hear 4 questions from everybody.
Greatest breakfast.
Good question.
I love a breakfast burrito,
That's great.
but you don't really get them here. But you do get them in America, and I assume in Mexico.
Can't even say Mexico. Nothing too much. Oh my god. Nice. Swiss has laughed at you.
Oh, so the chair. That's just that's. My ideal breakfast is at the moment black coffee and Marmite or Vegemite on toast. Pretty
Really good.
yeah, pretty not very funny. Not a very funny breakfast. Yeah,
That's really good, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, yeah. I don't think this is a breakfast food in Spain, but I love a tortilla. And I used to make it for breakfast. It's how I was an egg denier. I didn't grow up eating them and I had to learn to eat egg. So I started making tortillas.
Usually a tube and kind of situation, isn't it?
Beautiful.
You learnt to
Chew them almost every time I eat them.
almost, yeah, with eggs, isn't it? You just chew them and then.
Yeah. But that's a good one, for me.
Yeah. Nothing really to say. I've been working my way through a box of crunchy nut.
This guy, he loves the cereal.
Yeah, I do.
Cereal baddie.
Yeah,
Me and Lewis shared a bowl of Crave the other day. That's a crazy
That was
cereal.
quite weird. That
I
isn't it?
remember.
It's
I did
so
about 4
weird.
days ago.
Yeah. It's a random thing, isn't it?
Very good.
It's like eating biscuits.
It's
Chocolate
biscuits,
biscuits with milk in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was like Curiously Cinnamon 2.0.
Yeah, it was.
That
It
was-
was. Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
good stuff.
2 questions left before we, nearing the end of the evening, before other chairs are being broken. PlayStation Adri was wondering, is any of you a sourdough baker?
A sort of baker.
Oh, I once worked in a bakery.
Sourdough.
What?
Sourdough?
I saw.
Sort of baker.
Who's that?
Wait, sorry. I think I completely misunderstood the question. Did you say that one of us is like a sort of baker?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I was a sort of baker in the sense I did work in the bakery. But they didn't let me bake the bread.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not much of a
Oh,
baker.
May is a great baker.
Oh, May
May
makes
actually
bread,
is very good, yeah.
May bakes cakes every time it's one of our birthdays, I think.
Yeah, she does. She
Well,
made
not
me.
big.
Bake me if I could say. She did draw me a card though. She drew me a beautiful card with a bird on the front.
Oh,
That's nice.
She's very good at art.
Last one before we all get to enjoy burritos, black coffee, marmalade and toast and tortilla for breakfast tomorrow. I would like to close this Q&A with something Johan, who wrote question 276, wrote you. And I think he puts it kind of poetically when he said, how do you guys feel knowing that your music, your artistic expression, emotions get to your audiences and makes me feel so connected to the world and so at ease with our existence? I'm glad to be alive when I listen to what you guys do. It's honest and it makes me feel that it's okay to be, suffer and love everything. This band makes my heart smile. Thank you.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's nice.
That's like that's all you can ask for.
Yeah,
isn't
it is.
Fucking
It
hell.
really is. So nice. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I hope something makes me feel like that like once a year. So if we can give that to anyone,
I
that's
agree,
kind of
yeah.
like that's the ultimate.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
That's the best feeling.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
Jojo.
very kind. Thank you.
Georgia,
Lovely.
Lewis, Luke, Charlie, and of course Tyler and May, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
can-
Dan.
Sorry,
Yeah, you can catch BCNR later this year on the road. Visit their website or social media to see where the band's playing in 2025 and where you can attend a listening party of Forever How Long a day before a worldwide release. Wednesday, there will be a last single for the Cold Country before the April 4th release of Forever How Long, which we all get to hear in 10 Nights of Sleep now. Thanks for attending, sending questions, buying records, and listening to this Q&A. Have a good night, BCNR's besties.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You're a
Thank you
word
so much.
Thanks so much, Dan.
Well done, Dan.
Thanks. Was
Thank
my
you so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks, yeah, thanks for tuning in, by the way.
Yeah,
everyone,
thank you for tuning in.